Hello friends, Mandar here. I am back with another video. Today we are going to talk about some of the news from the US immigration, some of the things that Biden administration is going to do in its first 100 days, and we are going to talk about some of the questions that the viewers have regarding the travel and the consulate reopening. So if you are interested in this topic, watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this channel or on my video is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration need, you should contact a competent immigration attorney. So last week we saw the confirmation of Joe Biden as the President of the United States. There was a lot of commotion and riots in Capitol, but eventually we are going to see that the inauguration for the new president is going to happen on January 20th. Now both the President-elect and the Vice President-elect have mentioned some of the things that are their priority in the first 100 days. In fact, there are a few things that they are going to start right away. They are going to bring an economic stimulus package which is going to increase the payments to the working class individuals in the United States from $600 to $2,000. From the second stimulus bill, individuals have already received $600 per person. Now as part of the new bill that they are going to introduce, the payment is going to go up to $2,000. So every working individual and their children will get the additional $1,400 as part of this new stimulus bill that is going to be introduced by the new administration. So that is something that is going to happen immediately. There are provisions for businesses and other entities to get some stimulus money as well as part of this deal. So it is a pretty comprehensive package. It's almost $1.9 trillion. That is a big stimulus package that the new administration is going to do right after it comes on board. Now to add to that, there is going to be this impeachment trial that is going to happen in the Senate. When such thing happens in the Senate, it takes away a lot of times from all the senators. It's usually a full-time thing that happens for several days or weeks. It is probably going to slow down some of the things that Biden administration is planning to do right after they come into power. Although the president-elect has said there will be time sharing between this, so both things will happen in parallel. That's at least what we hear from the news. Now even the Vice President-elect Kamala Harris came forward and she gave an update on the immigration priorities that the Biden administration is going to focus on right from day one. So here's kind of a teaser that the Politico website has posted. It says Harris teases immigration agenda, green cards for DACA and TPS recipients, shorter wait for citizenship. So these are the priorities that they have told, and I'm just going to read out the first sentence which kind of sums it up. The incoming administration will focus on decreasing wait times to obtain citizenship, grant automatic green cards to protected undocumented immigrants, and adding immigration judges to decrease backlogs on court hearings. Another thing that they are going to prioritize is prioritize citizenship pathway to about 11 million undocumented immigrants. Now there is also something called 100 days plan for the Biden administration that they have displayed on their website. Let's take a look at it. Now here's on Biden's official website. It says Biden plan for securing our value as nation of immigrants. So there are some things that I want to point out that are going to be their priority in the first few months. As a President, Biden will forcefully pursue policies that safeguard our security, provide a fair and just system that helps to grow and enhance our economy and secure our cherished values. What are they? They are take urgent action to undo Trump's damage and reclaim America's value, modernize America's immigration system, welcome immigrants to our communities, reassert America's commitment to asylum seekers and the refugees, tackle root causes of irregular immigration, and implement effective border screening. Reverse public charge rule. This is a big one, and this is going to impact a lot of cases that are in the adjustment of status category. So they are going to probably get rid of the Form I-944. Rescind an un-American travel and refugee ban. Order immediate review of TPS. So it goes on to say a lot of other things that I'm not going to read through. I'll leave the link in the description, but it has spelled out a clear agenda for the first 100 days. Now what does it mean from the employment-based immigration perspective? Not much, to be honest. So we don't see a single mention of employment-based immigration changes in any of the things that we read so far from the Biden agenda. As you can see, it is mainly focused on DACA, family-based immigration, and some of the things that have to do with the processing and workings of the USCIS, the way in which they are going to reallocate the resources and funds to run these programs, and also about the travel ban. So there is nothing mentioned about employment-based immigration in this plan, unfortunately. Now, as you know, before leaving, the current administration has already put some of the new changes in H-1B lottery system that we are going to see in the upcoming year in April. It is to be seen if Biden administration makes any further change to that H-1B lottery system. I doubt they will, because that is not their priority. So for now, please assume that this H-1B system is going to change. It is going to have more focus on the salary of the individual than anything else. So higher the salary compared to the prevailing wage, the better your chances are to get your H-1B. Now we can also expect for this travel ban to be lifted immediately. So what does it mean? Consulates are already open, but they are only processing specific cases and priority cases. So if you are outside the United States and if you think your case might be accepted by the nearest consulate, don't hesitate to call them. Just call them, give them your situation. If you are working for a US employer and you have a valid approval notice, they might consider you to come back to the United States. You also want to reach out to other consulates to see if they can accept your application for stamping. Another thing is, check the coronavirus guidelines. Some of the countries have banned individuals who do not have a negative test at the time of boarding their flight. Now there is an article on Wall Street Journal that says US will require a negative COVID-19 test for all incoming passengers. So let's take a look at it. It says US to require COVID-19 test for all international visitors. So it goes on to say US government will require all international airlines passengers to show proof of a negative COVID test before boarding flights to the country. The order will go into effect on January 26th. In another news, Canada has also extended their travel restrictions to the United States and from the United States to Canada until February of 21st. Now, as you remember, Canada started these restrictions long back, about a year back, and they have been extending that every month. So there is no surprise that they have extended it by another month, and they will continue to do so until the cases in the United States significantly come down. Now you also want to remember that if you must travel to Canada at any point of time for any reason, there is a strict quarantine rule placed on by the government. And if you break these rules, there are hefty fines and also possible imprisonment. So as you can see in this article, breaking Canada's quarantine rules could result in 6 months in prison or $750,000 in fine. And this has actually happened. So be careful if you are traveling to Canada for any reason, or if you are even passing through Canada to go to Alaska or something like that, you want to follow these guidelines, the quarantine guidelines, very strictly, because otherwise you could end up in jail or end up paying a hefty fine, which is $750,000. Now there are a lot of other questions that I'm getting about the receipt notices for adjustment of status applications since who have applied for adjustment of status in October, November and December. Now I can tell you that receipt notices are being received by a lot of people who have applied in October and early November. So you can expect that receipt notices will come in 2 months or 3 months. The biometric notices are also being given out right after. So whoever has received the receipt notices are also getting biometric appointments very soon. Now here is some good news. Some of the people that have applied in early October for EAD and advanced parole card, they have got their EAD and advanced parole cards within 2 months, because it used to be at least 3 to 4 months to get your EAD, if not 8 to 9 months. So the fact that some people have got it so early is encouraging for others. So really that's all I wanted to cover as part of this news bite. There is a lot to be seen what happens in the upcoming weeks, and stay tuned to my channel, subscribe if you haven't already, so that you get notified about my upcoming video where I'll go through all the news in details. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.